So there are a whole bunch of different opportunities here. Now, sometimes when you're looking at over the counters and you're going through a list and you search and you see like, okay, wow, everything is worth like 300 bucks. So this is a lot that looks like it's 9 feet. You can see it's IRR. Usually IRR, that means a regular. These ones, they're just junk. They're just like little slivers of land that are located that have really no value. And so people ask how much can you get started, how much you need to get started in the tax lien, tax deed business. So this is probably one that you could pick up for $50, but why would you want to do that, right? Because it is just this irregular piece of land. It's not going to have any value. It's just going to be a waste of money, and then you're going to be on the hook, paying taxes for something that you don't want. And so that's what a lot of these are. They're just junk. They have no value. They should never have been parceled out the way that they were. And then you have stuff like this where, you got a assessed value north of $700,000 and you got a couple of properties here. So I did actually throw it into the AI and then it gave me a list of properties that I should target, top deals. I wanted it to approach it though from the perspective, not necessarily of the opening bid, because I don't think a lot of these are going to sell for the opening bid. Right. Yeah. So you got a lot of stuff that's got there are actually a lot of houses that are going to this auction. And so that's why I think it's going to be a great auction to attend. Not sure how many people are going to be there, but we did see that in 2021, property was selling for 50 bucks, 150 bucks, 200 bucks, which is crazy. It's crazy to me that you can buy property, you can buy pieces of land for, that kind of money. That's extremely cheap. So going back to vault.taxlienschool.com, that is just one of these auctions that are here listed. And so there are a lot of other counties here, different places. So we've highlighted before Maryland. Maryland has got a ton of deals. Michigan, we've talked about before. Michigan, they are a county that you can actually pay with your credit card, which is pretty wild. But whatever doesn't sell, that's going to be surplus, and they're going to have extremely low bids. Indiana, we got stuff. Now, there are a ton of over the counters in Florida. But a quick thing about Florida, remember that Florida is a bit of a interesting state because it is a tax lien state and it's also a tax deed state. So if you get a tax lien in Florida, generally with a tax lien, and this is the way it works in most other states, is you buy a tax lien, and so you're essentially paying the taxes uh, on behalf of the homeowner, and you're getting interest on that. And then if they don't end up paying you back, your security is the property. That's how your investment is secured. So they either pay you back or you get the house. So in Florida, it actually goes to a tax deed sale. And so you as the lien holder simply get your interest. And so if you're looking at any over the counter deeds in Florida, it's kind of weird that nobody got it because the lien holder could have got that property, because essentially the opening bid is what the lien holder is owed. So what happens is they petition their tax lien to go to a tax deed sale. And so that's why in Florida, over the counter liens could be good, but over the counter deeds, it's going to be really hard to find a good over the counter deed because that means that everybody else has passed on it. Or sorry, that means a lien holder has passed on it. So somebody had the right, somebody had the ability to get that property, but they didn't foreclose on it. They didn't take ownership, which is weird. So Florida is here. I think I've seen a lot of questions about Florida, but if you want to get into the tax lien tax deed game in Florida, it will actually be best to either A, attend auctions, or B, if you want to eliminate the competition, do a pre-auction deal. So that just means simply trying to acquire the property before the tax deed sale. And to find the most motivated of individuals, that would be finding people who are about to go to a tax deed sale. So let's say it's been almost 3 years since the first lien was purchased. It takes about 3 years before you can foreclose on someone. Then you could actually send them a text message, something polite. You could send them a little mailer or something like that, and try to acquire the property before